Your camera's out. You gotta keep pressing on, gotta keep on, pressing on. You gotta keep pressing on, you gotta keep on, pressing on. You keep pressing on, you gotta keep on, pressing on. You keep pressing on. You gotta keep pressing on, you gotta keep on, pressing on. So there we are. TMG is back, fresh off the trip to the West Coast, and we're going to another level in God. We thank you for who you are and what you've done, Lord. So we thank you for joining us today. Whoa, I can't play it because they'll strike it. So I don't even worry about it no more. I am hearing something, so don't tell me that. We'll edit that part out. Let's go to share. All right, perfect. How to Get Great Dating Outcomes in a Modern World, Parts 1 and 2, available on tmgbookseries.com. If you have not, make sure you join us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X. However you got here, thank you for joining us and making us a part of your day. I know it's quick, but I want to get right to what is triggering. But first, why am I doing this? I'm an executive. I've had the privilege of leading a number of sales and development programs over the previous 20 plus years. And I found that there are commonalities between dating success and with professional success. And as busy professionals, I know that you are struggling dating. You are on your second or third marriage and you are out in the field trying to figure it out after that ended. And it's hard. And guess what? It's supposed to be hard. But that is why this book is needed. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining us. And so we wrote the books. I wrote the books out of my own pain and experience with learning how to date in the modern world. And I wanted to give the pretense that the relationship or dating outcome that you're looking for is at your fingertips and at your disposal. It's 100% your responsibility, and you have the tools necessary to do it. Have to know who you are, what you want, know what you qualify for, and with that person you qualify for, with whom you qualify for, know what they want from you. When you do that, you can reach the modern ground. TMG Book Series, thank you guys for your support over the last couple of years. We will begin pivoting away from just relationship discussions and moving into engagement and marriage and getting you guys to the next level. Because one, y'all don't really want to be married no way. And then two, when you do find out that you do and admit that you want to be married, you then come here. So I wanted to do something as far as a reaction, because when we look at our book, we have the archetypes of men and women. And the archetypes of men and women are pretty simple. We have boys and girls, which do not qualify for relationship outcome and don't warrant a discussion. If you're dating a boy or you're dating a girl, just think about your own child or thinking about children. They are emotional, they're tied to their impulses, and they want to do things that they cannot quite do. That's boys and girls. Out of the line, that's why you can't date them. But then we start going up the line of the other three archetypes that do not qualify for a relationship. We have city boy or city girl. We have guy or gal, and we have female or male. Y'all love to spend time with the city boy and the city girl, and the female and the male. The guy or the gal you don't, because they're nondescript. They're the people you pass at the gym. They're the people that you pass when you're at Starbucks. You're not really interested in getting to know them, and you'll never be interested in getting to know them, which makes sense because they're guys or gals. They're nondescript. You're looking for something exceptional, which is why you settle on the first one that we talked about, which is the city boy or the city girl. Exciting. 3 C's: chemistry, charisma, you feel comfortable, and then they move into the 4th C, which is conquest. Both men and women on that side. So city boys and city girls do that. City girls take it to another level. They then are about the cream. They're about the diva lifestyle. It's in the book. Chapter 3, part 1. And you find yourself frustrated with that person because they're not giving you the relationship outcome you want. But then you say, Glenn, I'm not with a city boy or a city girl. I'm with this guy that I've been dating. Is he a guy? How long have you been with him? 3 years. Okay. Tell me your situation, Sarah. Well, Chandler and I have been together for 3 years. He lives with me. He moved in with me after his roommate got married and he didn't have a place to stay, and his mom would let him move back in. He works a job. He's not really happy at the job, doesn't have much fulfillment. Oh, he's a male. Men know how to evaluate the market, develop a high value skill, and extract profit out of the market with that skill or skills. Males cannot do that because they are not men. They look like men, they talk like men, they sound like men, they act like men and think they're men, but they're not men. And that's what's important. So that's what you need to understand. That's what you need to understand. So that's what that male is. And that's why you're frustrated. And then, fellas, you are not exempt. You are not exempt. You love females. Females are not city girls. They're not gals, but they're not yet women. Females look the part, sound the part, act the part, but they're not the part. Because in reality, they have not healed from any emotional trauma that has, or physical trauma that has impacted them. They're not in counseling. They're not in a church. They're not in the mosque. They're not in the synagogue. They ain't in nothing. They're just living their life and living their truth. These are the ones that want you to join them in their delusion. And males and females do this with each other over a 3 to 10 year period. And then they label all men and women as toxic. So, ladies, if you haven't healed from your trauma, and if you're still making men suffer you, you are a female. So then we talk about, oh, well, what's good, Glenn? Glad you asked. There are 3 versions of men and women that qualify above the line at the modern ground in the modern world of a great relationship outcome. We have the favorite and the most popular today, modern men and modern women, traditional men and traditional women, and high value men and women. Now, I'm going to take out high value because none of you are high value. So just, you're done. Well, Glenn, I make 160 a year. That's not high value men. High value has more to do with the terms and the length of you making that money, your impact to your community, your character, your commitment. You don't have that. You don't have that. You still city. You're not there. Then there it is. You have high value women are less than 5% of the market. High value men are less than 10% of any market. So 100 men in a room, 10 of them are going to be high value. The rest are going to be saying they're high value. Or they're going to be guys, they're going to be city, they're going to be boys, they're going to be a lot of males in that room. Because males like to be around that confident energy. They don't know how themselves to get to that level of self-sustainability and agency. And that's what high value men can do. And high value women are attached to a high value man and 100% in lockstep with him achieving his purpose, not just his passion and what makes him feel good, but his purpose. What is his God-given purpose? What is the assignment that God has for him? And is he directing it? I think of our pastors, Devin and Ashley. He's high value. He would never admit it, but he's driving towards what God has called him to do. And it is profitable for them. And she comes alongside, not as just his wife, not as the first lady, but a co-pastor and COO helping to drive that. Y'all ain't even seen nothing like that. So no, you're not high value. So then you got traditional. Let me just tell you why you don't want to be traditional. And we'll start with the men, because she ain't working. Oh man, that'd be great. I don't have to deal with a woman that's working. She ain't working, but she expects the needs of the family to be handled. I talk about traditional men at a minimum have to have the 4 P's to qualify for a wife. Look it up. There are videos on it. But if we want to talk about it, we can talk about it. And right now, what you need to understand without a shadow of a doubt is that a traditional woman wants you to provide, to protect, to priest, and profess. Provide financially, provide security, protect emotionally, protect security and physically. Profess, everyone needs to know that you're in relationship and you love her and you love your family. They should not have a question. They shouldn't be seeing you out at Magic City night for the Atlanta Hawks, knowing all the girls that are there. You shouldn't be out here, air quote, exercising options. You need to be focused on provision and protection. And everyone needs to be able to know that you're in that relationship through profession. And then priesthood, you are the moral center. You determine the direction the family is going to go. You see a lot of this in this new TikTok trend with compound living and compound families. These are those men. And their women are not going to work. And they expect to be able to live on a compound, take 2 vacations as a family a year, take 1 vacation themselves, take 1 anniversary gift, send their kids to the Christian school or to the religious institution they would like, go to the church every Sunday, serve, and support you as you run through the business that you work in or the business that you're starting. But she ain't working. I got the house. And you bet not come in and interfere with her process. That ain't why she with you. She don't need your help with the dishes. She don't need your help with the laundry. And that's why it's so attractive to males and modern men. I ain't gotta do that stuff. No, because you're going to do it wrong anyway if you're a traditional man. She's not putting gas in the car. She's not putting no oil in the car. She ain't washing the car and vacuuming out. I feel so bad for the women I see with rings on their finger vacuuming out their car every week at the car wash. I'm not going to say how many cars we have, but I have more than 2. And if my wife touches a car, what does she know? I'm mad. If she go get gas, even though I'm out of town, I'm mad. There's 2 other cars, 3 other cars there. You need to take one of them cars. You ain't putting no gas in your car. You ain't stopping there. You ain't touching. No, that's traditional men. And that's traditional women's expectation. You open doors. And she will look at you with those loving doe eyes, brother, that you're looking for if you're handling business. But then we have modern men and modern women, which is 50-50, and not the 50-50 that y'all talking about. It's 50. Everything is up for negotiation and discussion, and it gets exhausting. So modern men find it exhausting, and then modern women are the ones who run to high value as soon as they can because they're exhausted with working and figuring out the kids and negotiating and talking about schedules. Are we there yet? Is really what they'll say. That's going to be a new t-shirt. So let's talk about the point of view for the trad wife scam, because there is Stoiccole. That's his name. I like Stoiccole because Stoiccole's videos are hilarious. Let me go to his page on YouTube. We're going to look at a couple. She wants to live rent-free, the jealousy bait, and the princess treatment. Now, I'm just going to go with the latest videos today, but let's let me share my screen. Jesus. Stoicism from the modern man. Now, I don't subscribe. He's not a sponsor of the show. And today's show is sponsored by Safe Streets, ADT. Click the link in the description if you would like to get a home security system for your family. Safe Streets, we got you. That's not the tagline, but that's what it should be. If somebody's asking me. When she wants to live rent-free, oh Lord, in Jesus' name. Without further delay, where's the mute? Where's the button? Let's react.
Not a tenant.
You are moving into my asset. That makes you a tenant.
We are supposed to be building a life together. This is so transactional.
Protecting my property from
Squatter? Do you hear yourself? You think I would try to steal your house?
Wait a minute. Let's go back. Sorry.
I'm so excited. My lease is up. I'm so excited. We're finally moving in together.
Me too. Here is the month-to-month lease agreement.
Lease? Are you serious? I'm your girlfriend, not a tenant.
You are moving into my asset. That makes you a tenant.
We are supposed to be building a life together. This is so transactional.
Protecting my property from squatters' rights isn't transactional.
Whoa.
It's responsible.
Squatter? Do you hear yourself? You think I would try to steal your house?
Yes.
I think 50% of couples break up. And I don't do common law marriage by accident.
But if I still have to pay rent, what is the point of moving in with you?
The point is companionship. The rent covers the roof. They are two different things.
Well, my friends' boyfriends let them live for free. They provide.
Then move in with their boyfriends.
Cole, I already packed my stuff. You can't just turn me away.
I'm not turning you away. I'm offering you a room at market rate. You want to play wife? You sign the lease.
Wow. So people are going to ask me, well, Glenn, what are you saying? First, I'm telling you to stop moving in with one another and stop having these small divorces after 50% of couples break up. I think it was Gary Todd that did that. I'm going to have to look that up. But for those of you that are not spiritual and don't believe in the things of God, that's fine. But you're here on my channel, so I got to teach you anyway. In the Bible, there was no marriage the way we know it. And the first marriage was between Adam and Eve. I know people will argue me in the comments. They do it on TikTok all the time. And they're like, marriage wasn't established until the 3rd century. It was established in the Bible with the first man and the first woman. And it was the way God designed it. One man with one woman, long-term relationship, marriage, children, legacy as a result. That's Adam and Eve. So that's where that comes from. It doesn't come from me just making it up and it sounding nice. It's because it doesn't sound nice. It doesn't flow. But in that scenario, Adam had never been with another woman, had never seen another woman. There was another woman, and Eve was what was created out of the rib of him. Bones, to the Hebrew people and the Aramaic people during that time, represent souls. And so those souls was someone that is what we would call soulmate. You are weaving your life together. And men who are productive, providers, protectors, professors, and priests in their own lives and in their own homes are qualified to get that rib sewn back in. That's why we say the 4 P's in a wife are the reason and the timing and the strategy, there it is, that men should have in order to get a wife. And if you don't believe what I'm believing, you should, because you're here for a reason. But y'all need to stop moving in together. Now, granted, all of my friends or all of our generation, everybody lived with somebody. And guess what? When it ended, it hurt. It hurt the same way a divorce hurts for married people, where let no man break what God has put together between a man and a woman. And when that separates, there is a breaking of both, one or both. And then if one or both are broken, but not technically legally married, but they're cohabitating, you're intimate, you're sharing financials, you're sharing lives, you're sharing goals, you're sharing fluids, you're married according to things of the spirit. Just letting you know, that's why it hurt so bad, ladies, when you left that relationship for 3 years last year in 2025. You finally got him out your life and it still hurts. You were married to him. The average person before a formalized legal marriage is going through 7 to 10 little divorces. And then we wonder why our mental health is so jacked up. And we wonder why body count for men and women matters. And what I say here for both matters. Stop moving in together. I don't want to hear about what your boyfriend does. The protections of the Bible and God's covenant are not for boyfriends and girlfriends, but the spiritual principalities stay the same. You're living with him, paying rent, but he is not your husband. So you're dependent on the state or the federal government to come in and give you protection instead of dependent on the one who gave him to you. And then you looking at us online saying, well, why y'all saying that stuff? Because you keep failing. We know what we're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know, there it is, what you're doing. Sure, I do. Okay, I know, Jay. But that's the first one. Don't move in rent free. I don't care. Your lease is up. It's hard. Your job got downsized. So you want to live with him. Go back home with your mama and your daddy. Go move in with your sister and figure out that relationship. Because if you're just going to go attach to someone who's some man or some male, and then you think you're going to get an outcome where it's like, my life is better, you got another thing coming, Jack. All right, let's go down one more.
The barista gave me my coffee for free today.
Here we go.
And he wrote his number on this.
Not the
Good
watch.
for him. Why are you showing me?
Another man is hitting on me and you don't even care?
I care about loyalty.
Mm.
A man offering his number is his business. You bringing it home as a trophy is yours.
Trophy.
I just wanted to see if you would get protective. You are so cold.
Protective is for danger, not for a woman who runs marketing campaigns to see who else is buying.
It's just a joke. I wasn't going to text him.
You didn't have to. You already showed me what you value.
Cole, where are you going?
Out. I don't compete for my own seat. Keep the napkin.
Wow. All right, a couple things there. And every married man who is married to a 6 and a higher knows this. Our wives get flirted with all the time. People make passes at our wives all the time. And the older they are, the nastier those passes can be. It should happen that way if what we're taking for what God has given us and we're making it a precious vessel to sit up for his glory, that is attractive to other men and women. So no man who is secure in his relationship with his woman, and I'm talking marriage, don't talk to me about your boyfriend or girlfriend, is concerned about what's happening in the market if they are handling business. Because again, what we believe over here at TMG and what we believe through our own networks and other content creators we work with is it is a covenant between man, woman, and God. So God takes care of that as long as I'm doing what I need to do. If I'm not doing what I need to do, or we're not doing what we need to do as husbands, then that's when stuff happens. But if you're doing what you need to do and something happens, God has provisions in the Bible for that. Ecclesiastes, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Ephesians. So we're good. So never compete. Men, modern men, traditional men, and high value men never compete for, like he said, with their own seed. They compete to be the best versions of themselves. They compete within their friend group to make sure that they are one-upping and holding each other accountable and meeting the standard. Y'all are sitting here just competing with nothing. Y'all competing with a barista at Starbucks. And then look at her. She's sitting there explaining it away. She wanted to come and try to make him jealous. Why would Cole would not be jealous in this universe? I like also how he walked towards the door and then he was at the window looking at the sunset.
Social media convinced them that existing is a premium service.
A coffee date? Seriously? I thought we were doing the whole princess treatment tonight.
An empire isn't built on entitlement. Princess treatment is for women who build kingdoms with you. True value comes from what you build, not what you demand.
Dang.
My time is valuable. If you don't see that, I'm leaving.
The walk away bluffed, a classic negotiation tactic. Then go find them. I'm looking for a partner to build with, not a dependent to sponsor. Value peace over her demands. Never negotiate your worth.
He's always walking away from this blonde. That door opened on its own. How build kingdoms, not tourists. Okay. So based on that analogy, that's why we say one man, one woman, long-term relationship, marriage, children, legacy as a result. That's a kingdom. That actually takes time. Guys, that takes 40 years. So you have to be willing to stand in the pocket for 40 years to get that. That's not something stop looking at social media and looking at these pseudo rappers who are broke and these athletes who can barely pay rent and saying, look at what they're doing for their women. Their women are going to have a rude awakening, and those kids that they keep having out of wedlock are going to have a tough life when daddy is living on the couch back with his mama in the projects in Baltimore. That's not a kingdom. And the kingdom that we try to build is the kingdom of Christ. When we build the kingdom of Christ, God gives you a little kingdom of your own to manage. When you're doing it in his way and his will, when you're doing it your way, it doesn't happen for you. That's why I say stop looking at athletes and entertainers and YouTubers who don't profess a faith in Christ, because it's all limited. It's a limiting belief and a limiting factor. They got to keep going back to those sources to get what they need, which is why athletes are struggling. Athletes and entertainers are struggling. They got to keep going back to that. You got to go back to that when you're in Christ. And then just think if you're an athlete or an entertainer and you're in Christ. Wow. But what we know, yeah, never mind. So build kingdoms, not tourists, the princess treatment. The princess treatment, I've been seeing that on TikTok. Princess treatment is for daughters. And the reason there's princess treatment for daughters is because you want them to know how to be treated as a queen. Because a princess is, she would become a queen. You guys don't understand it, but let's look at Game of Thrones. Sansa was a princess of the North, the redhead, the one who played Jean Grey, the redhead. Married to a Jonas? I don't know. What? Divorced? I don't care. She was a princess. She was betrothed and promised to Joffrey. And then after everything happened, she was no longer betrothed to Joffrey. She moved to, what was it, Tywin, Peter Dinklage's character. And she became she was still the princess of the North, but by being with Tywin and being with her and putting them together, you had the Lannister army and you had the Starks, which controlled the North. That was an alliance that was built. So there was a tactical reason in medieval times and biblical times that people got together. And when you do that, you're trying to solidify your position, improve your position, or build on your existing position. Joffrey then married Marjorie. Joffrey is that the red wedding too, or the purple wedding? Then Marjorie married Tommen, and she was the queen until the sept was blown up, and then Tommen jumped off a building. All that happened. So they all messed it up. But that's what a kingdom is. So you're not doing that for princesses to give them princess treatments. You want queens. You want queens that can stand up and hold their weight as a queen, who can rule in your stead, who can rule and reign and have influence across the kingdom and across the alliances. I know that's tough for y'all, but I'm sorry. But what I also want to share is that there is hope. There is hope. TMG Book Series, How to Get Great Dating Outcomes in a Modern World, Parts 1 and 2, available today on tmgbookseries.com. If you have not, make sure you join us on social media channels. They're listed above. You can also check our previous live streams. I said that we would be changing the content, and it's going to be more Christ-centered, and it's going to be more about getting y'all into engagement and marriage, because I'm over y'all. And then we're going to start our live series at the end of the spring, going through the full summer. That content will be 100% focused on relationships. And then we'll be moving over to our sister channel, the GSC, and we'll be talking about everything business related, things that I'm able to talk about to help drive business result for you all. So I'm the host, I am the author, I'm the creator, I am Glenn. Thank you for joining us, and have a great, great, great rest of your day.